Hi guys, I'm Ivory and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of Ulta's best-selling makeup. It's actually like a best-selling slash top rated video because I feel like the two names kind of go hand in hand. If something is a bestseller, obviously a lot of people really like it, hence it's going to be highly rated. So just know that all of these products actually fall into both of those categories. One thing that I really like about Ulta is that if you want to splurge on luxury products, then you know there's a wide range of that. But then if you want to save a little bit of money, then you have that drugstore section and that affordable section with like ColourPop, Morphe, BH Cosmetics, versus when you go into Sephora, like you know you're gonna drop a pretty penny there. I remember when I first started wearing makeup and I would go into Ulta and Sephora, and every single time I would go into Sephora, all I could afford was like two things that were like 18 bucks each, so 20. So then you would have $40 worth of items, which is just two products just rolling around at the bottom of your bag. And I always felt guilty leaving Sephora. I've been a little bit better like going into the mini section, saving a little bit of money, but I do feel like when I go to Ulta, I feel a little bit better about my finances because I peruse mostly around the affordable section and then I'll get maybe one or two luxury products. So it's like a nice balance. But to reflect that, I did go ahead and take all of the best-selling items and I wanted to split it. So about half of the products are going to be luxury and then the other half are going to be drugstore slash affordable products. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every single week, and also be sure to follow me on my social media. Everything is _ivorypcherry. I feel like I always have to do this because I feel like there's someone out there that's watching this video and typing in literally _ivorypcherry. No, it's the symbol _, just to be clear. Okay, let's get into it. We're gonna start off with primer today. I am using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I feel like this primer was a game changer in the makeup industry because, first of all, it's been a bestseller pretty much ever since it came out. And I feel like a lot of drugstore and other makeup companies try to mimic this exact primer, whether it's the packaging or the formula or the texture. I see a lot of dupes. For foundation today, I'm actually gonna go in with two. One's gonna be high-end and the other one's gonna be drugstore. I'm not gonna do that with every single step. I just so happen to be doing it with this step. I'm first gonna go in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is old. I've had this sitting in the back of my drawer for years now. I think this is the last container I have of the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is why I want to mix it with the drugstore because this is my holy grail foundation. It's very expensive, and since I'm not actually going anywhere today, I want to save as much as I can. And then for drugstore foundation, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Define and Conceal Foundation. I love the concealer version of this. I do not like this foundation actually. It checks off a lot of things that I look for in a foundation, but the most important one, which is wear time, it's not that great. It's full coverage, it's affordable, but around the 6 to 7 hour mark, it doesn't look that great on me. 6 to 7 hours is like a decent chunk of time, but I just have other affordable foundations that last way longer. So this is not my favorite, but I'm gonna mix the two together. And then for concealer, okay, so everyone really loves the Tarte Shape Tape, and I have to agree, this is a really great concealer. It's probably my top 3 favorite concealers of all time, but I feel like everyone that does this video always goes in for the Shape Tape. It's so predictable, so I'm actually gonna go in with a drugstore version. I am trying for the first time actually the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer, which I hear is a dupe for the Shape Tape, so we will see. I got the shade medium beige. Light beige was way too bright for me. Okay, this is like a little peachy. I feel like I can make this work, but it is kind of thick, just like the Tarte Shape Tape, and it's blending out really nice. So getting up close, I mean, I really didn't need to see up close. I can see in the viewfinder just fine. It is very full coverage. It like seems to be more full coverage than my actual foundation. The color I'm not really feeling, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more, but I'm also gonna mix in the Maybelline Age Rewind. This is also a bestseller, so I'm not cheating here. And this one is in the shade Light. I feel like this one is a little bit more yellow, which is more my undertone. When I first got the Age Rewind, I thought it was revolutionary and it was so good. I love the sponge applicator. I know some people don't like that because it seems a little bit dirty. At the time, I thought it was really amazing, but drugstores have really upped their game with concealers. And now that I've tried other ones, I don't think it's as good as what is currently out there. And in general, mind you, I love Maybelline. They're my favorite drugstore brand, and just brand in general actually. But with Maybelline, I think their Achilles heel is concealers. They're not that great at concealers. Okay, I feel like that looks a lot better. So we're gonna set everything now. I'm actually gonna use two, you'll see why. So everywhere that I applied my concealer, I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade Light Medium. I love how my skin looks after I set with this. My only issue is it changes the color of my foundation. How annoying is it to finally get your shade and then apply it to your whole face and then use this setting powder just for it to lighten up? They have multiple shades, but none of them match me. Like the medium was way too dark and I wasn't about to buy both powders just to make a perfect concoction. That's just way too much work. I really wish Maybelline came out with a translucent one because then I would use that all the time. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going in with the Dermablend Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And I love this powder actually. A lot of these products I had already. And while my powder is absorbing, I'm gonna move on to my brows. I'm gonna use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This is in the shade 4.5. I told you guys a couple of videos ago that I wasn't really sure what to do with my brows because even though they're full, they're very different and I wasn't sure what direction I was gonna go with them. I'm still experimenting with my brows, so just be aware that for the next couple of videos, I may have some really weird brows because I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to happen with them. And if you're not here for that, then I guess you're not a very good friend because friends let friends experiment with their eyebrows and are supportive of them throughout the entire journey. And you know who said that? Gandhi. We're gonna move on to the eyes. I'm using the James Charles palette with Morphe. If anybody's new here, I did win this palette. I still have the screenshot on my phone saved of when James Charles messaged me to tell me that I won his giveaway because I got the entire PR package from his collab with Morphe. Like I got the brushes, I got a MacBook Air, I got one of his hoodies. It is by far one of the most exciting things that happened to me last year. I did do a video where I did like an unboxing and I show the actual conversation. So I'll put it up here if anybody's interested, but say what you want about him. He created an awesome palette. I love this palette. I use it all the time. It is so versatile. And I'm first gonna set my eyes using the NYX eyeshadow primer. This is the white one, as you can see by it being very white. And I'm just gonna tap that onto my lid. And this video isn't really a tutorial, so I'm gonna breeze through this really quickly. I'm first going in with a Morphe M506 and I go into the shade Playground and I apply that to the first third of my eye. When you are doing an all matte look like this, I suggest you pat, 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 and then once most of the pigment is down, that is when you start blending upwards so that you create a nice gradient. And then once Playground is down, then I go in with a different clean Morphe M506 brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Brother and I'm gonna apply that to the middle of my eyelid and also make sure that you work that into the first shade as well so that they kind of create a nice gradient together. And then with a Sigma E44, I go into the shade Cola and that is what is on the outermost of my eye. Again, pat it down and then start blending it upwards and also make sure you work that color into the middle shade. Afterwards, I go into the e.l.f. eyeliner brush and I dip into the first shade and I tight line my lower lash line with the first color and I make sure that it mirrors the top, so I go only as far as it does like on the upper eye, if that makes sense. And then with a Morphe M410 brush, I go into Brother, stick that in the middle, and then I use a color switch, and then I dip into the shade Cola, and I tight line the outermost of my lower lash line, and I also kind of connect it to the top. And then lastly, with a pencil brush, I go into the shade Hello, and I stuck that into my inner corner and a little bit on my brow bone. Okay, so I'm gonna move back to my base. I'm a little scared of my eye look. Like I kind of intimidated myself. I had a vision and my hands had a different vision, I think. I'm hoping it comes together in the end because this is loud. Very, very loud. I'm next going to bronze my face. I'm using the Physicians Butter Bronzer. I know it doesn't look like it. It's because I broke it on different occasions. Only one of them I would say is my fault. The other one is United Airlines' fault. But I assure you it is that bronzer. Just, you know, a little deformed. I'm also going to take that bronzer and apply it to my nose. Just a smidge. Just so that it doesn't feel super left out. And then for blush, I am going in with the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. This is in the shade Party. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Party because it has 3 A's in it. You can tell by the way I said that I'm such a tight ass. I don't feel like this is showing up a lot. Maybe it's just too light on me. I don't know. It's just Okay, I see it. It's coming. It's coming together. It's taken a moment to get there. You can see I broke out. My skin has been doing really good lately and I just got this outbreak. I have a feeling it's because I didn't change my pillowcases. I usually wash my pillowcases every week or every other week, and my husband was starting to yell at me about it. He's like, you're washing them too often, and then by the time I go to bed, the covers are not back on the pillows, so stop washing them so often. And I think this is the cause of it, so thank you, honey. I'm gonna take my Dermablend powder and carve out my cheekbones. And then for the nose area, I'm gonna go back into the Fit Me powder. This is the first time that I'm doing this. I am not this extra of a person when I'm actually doing my own makeup. Okay, and then while I let this sit, I'm going to apply my lip. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Seductress. I feel like the eyes are having their own moment and I don't wanna take away from that, so I'm gonna do the rest of my face super simple. Okay, and then I'm gonna wipe the rest of the powder away. And then with my Mint Pair M64 brush, I'm gonna go into the highlighter that is in this palette. It's called Face. I'm gonna apply that on top of my blush a little bit, and I'm gonna apply that to the tops of my cheekbones, and I'm gonna apply that on my nose as well. I'm gonna set my brows using the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 4.5. This is the same color as the pencil that I used. And I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face before I add my mascara. I'm using the Mario Badescu facial spray. As you can see, I put quite a dent in it. This is also a bestseller on Amazon's Choice, which is why I have it. I did do a video where I did a full face of Amazon's bestsellers / Amazon's Choice. I'll put it up here if you're interested, but it's also a bestseller at Ulta, so hence why I have it. Oh, that smells so good. For mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Colossal. As you can see, I have not tried it yet. This is in the color Glam Black. Maybelline seriously needs to come up with some type of standard because I'm very confused. There's black, there's very black, there's true black, there's black noir, and now apparently there's Glam Black. What does that even mean? Glam Black. It's very confusing. I'm sorry I'm being dramatic about it, but I do like to have some type of standard so that I can tell what the hierarchy, because I always want the black is black. I wish they had some type of range in the back, you know, kind of like when you buy pads or something, you know, like they have some type of diagram at the very bottom to show you out of all the sizes which one you're getting, so that you know if you're getting like the smallest size or like the biggest or whatever, so you could see where you're at. I would like that, but in mascara colors. So if you agree, let me know so we can make some type of petition or something. Okay, so hopefully you can see just by me looking down the length difference in one coat. It's okay. I mean, I see some length. Not the best mascara. It's not the worst mascara. Okay, so I went ahead and added 2 layers. The second layer, oh my god, look at that difference. It's hard to see because the background of it is so dark, but maybe if I go with this angle. The length at that second coat made a really big difference. I like it. I don't want to get too excited because you know what happened last time I got too excited. I got very disappointed. I'm gonna add false lashes today. Out of all the categories, lashes have the least amount of activity and reviews and just overall ratings on Ulta. Like all of their styles are on the first page. So it's like all of them are bestsellers. So I don't really think it matters. I've tried a bunch of different ones. I always like Ardell, but I'm gonna try Allure for the first time. These are the Luxe Opulent Mink effect. They look pretty dramatic, which might go well for this eye look. It also comes with 2 lash glues, which I always really appreciate. I'm gonna go ahead and apply these off camera and then I'm gonna be right back. All right, so the lashes are on and I did go ahead and use this mascara for my lower lash line. These lashes are very long. Like when I was doing my lower lash line and I was looking down, these lashes actually were kind of tickling my eyelid. But what I like about them is that they're separated enough that you can see my eyeshadow, even though my eyeshadow goes all the way up to my eyebrows. I'm just saying, you know, if it didn't go all the way up even then, they're separated enough that you can see through the lashes and see the actual eyeshadow. Overall, I'd say they're really comfortable. And also, hold on, let me open this up so you can see. The lash band isn't clear, like there is a black band. Some people don't really like that, but I actually prefer that because it looks like you added black liner to the bottom lash line. So it's harder to see the imperfections so close to the lash line. So if it covers up some mistakes, I prefer that. Looking at all my stuff now, I realized that I basically had all the products on Ulta's bestsellers slash top rated except for 2 products. So the e.l.f. concealer, I actually really liked it. I thought the coverage was really great. It blended out really nicely. I feel like it's a little bit thicker than the Tarte Shape Tape. And another thing I didn't like is the undertone. The light medium, way too light for me, and it wouldn't have worked. And this one, it could have worked for me if it was a different undertone. It was like peachy, orangey. I didn't like that. And also the Maybelline Colossal Mascara was new. It actually did okay. The second coat really gave me that length that I needed, but on a first coat, if you are someone that like just needs one coat and are out the door, you can't be bothered to do a second or third, I don't know if this is for you. This one, especially on my lower lash line, I had to put quite a bit of work on it. I had to really layer. So you can get there with length and it separates quite nicely, but in terms of like thickening and volume, I don't know if you can get there with this mascara. I still love my L'Oreal Telescopic. That is my favorite mascara up to date. In terms of that as my top, this is definitely falls under that. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.